Man, had a crazy trip on the weekend. Well, last week I had to do a speech overseas. I got to speak on the same panel as the British High Commissioner. I was speaking about content and AI and whatnot, things that I'm interested in. It was a great trip. I had a good speech and I learned a lot of great lessons. I'm going to share some of these lessons with you. Now, the trip started off real rocky. It's my first time ever flying with American Airlines and it was insane. The first plane was delayed 12 hours. Then we had to take an extra plane to Philly because we missed our connecting flights. So then we went from Philly to Miami, and there just so happened to be a thunderstorm directly over Miami. The pilot told us that we were going to land in Palm Beach. So we started going down, and I know the plane, I know how it feels. I start feeling the plane going back up. I'm like, what's going on? Turns out they got rerouted to Fort Lauderdale. Then the pilot told us that we were no longer going to Fort Lauderdale. We're going back to Miami. Meanwhile, the plane's going up and down this entire time. Then we're told again that we're not going to Miami. We're going back to Fort Lauderdale. So we land in Fort Lauderdale and it turns out that I'm going to miss my connection. So, I could either panic, I was with my brother, or I could do something about it. So I decided to do something about it. So we hopped in a cab. We went to Miami airport from Fort Lauderdale. Took an hour, but we made it in time to catch our connecting flight, which was also delayed as well, about an hour and a half. So we were supposed to get there on Monday, but we ended up getting there on Wednesday. Crazy. The lesson I learned from that particular set of instances or incidents was you got to be solution oriented. So I could have panicked and been complaining, and everybody on the plane was complaining, everybody was bugging, but I was cool as a fan. I was just trying to find ways to, make things happen. So we ended up getting there and we got there safe. God bless. I noticed a lot of people complaining and nagging and whining and making faces and whatnot, but none of that was going to change the situation. The only thing I could do is chill out, try to find solutions, and make the best out of it. Luckily, I got me a platinum Amex card, so I was able to kick it in the lounge in all these different cities. So I looked at the positive side of things. I was like, yo, I got to kick it in the lounge in Philadelphia, Miami, Toronto, even though Toronto's lounge sucks. But I got to kick it in all these different lounges and, I had a good experience with that. So I took a negative and I made it into a positive, right? I wasn't tripping about the whole situation while everybody else was kind of like bugging out and getting stressed out. There's no point in getting stressed out about stuff you can't control. There's nothing I could do. The first delay was because the plane had something wrong with it. I don't know what these people wanted. Did they want us to go in the sky with a damaged plane? I know I didn't want to go into the sky with a damaged plane, so I'm not tripping. So I learned that a lot of people are not solution oriented. They're very reactive. And I got to see it in real time that a lot of people are just reactive. They just react and they don't look for solutions and they don't look to make the best out of most situations. They just like to complain and whine. If that's you, it's definitely something that you might want to look to change because it's not a good look. It's completely useless and it is completely a waste of energy. You always try to look for solutions. Never complain because complaining only gives you more situations for you to complain about. But that was a little minor lesson. The second lesson I learned was a major lesson. So I had to do this speech, right? Honestly, I hadn't been to Guyana for a while, but I figured I knew what my competition was going to be like. So I didn't practice. To be honest, I winged the whole speech. And I got really great results. Like I actually have a radio interview today as a result of that speech. So I got great results and people liked the speech. But there was one thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. There was this dude that was there. He was like a business owner and he was immensely prepared. Now I take Toastmasters, I take public speaking classes and all that, whatnot, try to improve myself. But you could tell that this dude was on his game. So this dude came up on the stage and did the best speech of the day. He had props. His speech went full circle. And I had to go after him. Now, luckily, my speech had tangible actionable steps, things that you could actually apply, whereas his speech was just more philosophical, right? But I still felt uncomfortable because his delivery was so excellent, and I felt like I was a couple notches down. I underestimated the competition. I've been told my entire life that I have a certain level of charisma and a certain level of talent when it comes to things like speaking to people and whatnot. So I thought that I could just waltz in there and use this charisma and talent to just outdo everyone. And honestly, I think there was about 3 speeches that had better delivery than the speech that I had. Now, like I said, my information was good, and that was my saving grace because I have so much information that I was able to give the crowd significant amount of value, but my delivery wasn't the best. And that's because I looked up my so-called talent and thought that that would carry me. I underestimated my competition. I know better, but sometimes with these life lessons, you have to learn them in real time to really grasp the magnitude of it. I felt like I was outperformed. A lot of people didn't feel that way. Because I have expertise in public speaking, I was easily able to see the things that he did better than me. And me being an extremely, extremely competitive person, I didn't like that. That didn't make me feel too good. I believe I'll be going back next year. And next year, I'm coming back crazy prepared. I'm probably going to get prepared like a year in advance. Now, with my talent and preparation, I could really do some damage. Always remember, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And that was my lesson. You never, ever, ever just rely on your talent, because no matter how talented you are, there's somebody out there putting in more reps than you. And I got out-repped. It's not going to happen again, but it's a good lesson. And hopefully you could take this lesson and use it in your life as well. With all that being said, thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.